Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the YouTube channel of For Ultimate Fishing International. My name is Sietze and today I'm gonna take a few minutes to talk to you about probably one of the most awesome fisheries that we guys have in Europe. It's not only an awesome fishery, it's also a very cool story about recovery, about wildlife. It's a population that came back from almost the brink and nowadays in a large part of Europe is a big part of the fishing industry and for sport fishermen. My little friend next to me might give away a little clue about what we're going to talk about. And today we're going to talk about the top tackle and techniques for bluefin tuna. There is, simply put, without a very expensive airline ticket all the way over the world. This is the closest you will get to big game fishing, basically in our own backyard, in the south of the UK, from Plymouth to Cornwall, here in France, in Brittany, even in Denmark and the south of Norway, they are being caught and targeted nowadays. Tuna are very special fish for a multitude of reasons. You can catch them on many different ways. The blitz when they are hunting is absolutely incredible. National Geographic worthy, basically. There is multiple ways to catch them, live bait, dead bait, trolling, but obviously being a lure-based company, the most awesome and the most exhilarating is definitely lure fishing. I'm going to talk to you about some lures. Number one, which is every tuna, and not only tuna fisherman's, every fisherman's dream, that's obviously to catch a big fish on the popper. The strikes are amazing, even if you miss them, the adrenaline is over the top. Our number one for this type of fishery is the Tackle House feed popper in two sizes. That's the 150 in particular and the 175. Keep in mind we're talking about Atlantic bluefin tuna, so the fishery in the Mediterranean or some parts of Spain might be slightly different. The tackle and techniques are mainly aimed either the English Channel and the coast around Cornwall, Devon, Dorset, Brittany and probably even up to Norway for the slightly bigger fish up to 200 kilos. One of the reasons why it's so good, it's very easy to pop, it displaces a lot of water and even on very heavy tackle it still casts far enough. As you'll notice on these I've put single hooks. The 175 comes without hooks because the tuna hooks, no matter the brand, are very expensive. So it gives you the chance or the choice to pick your own hooks. The reason, and even with the 150, it comes with trebles, but we would definitely advise to switch to single hooks. This has three reasons. Same goes for the other bait we'll talk about in a second. Reason number one is your own personal health. The fish are very big, they are incredibly strong, and it can cause some very dangerous situation, especially if you fish like a lot of the guys here in France from ribs. With trebles, it's a very dangerous thing for your boat and yourself. Number two is fish healthcare. These fish are very special. Like I said at the intro, they almost came back from extinction in some places, and they deserve the utmost care and respect. Number three, and it's also a very important one, is that they have a very hard mouth, and it's quite difficult to set the hook. You've seen some videos where they have to set the hook 5 or 6 times. If you use a treble hook, you're dividing the pressure you can put over multiple points, especially if the hooks are not perfectly in the flesh of the fish. The hook set isn't that great and the chance of them bending out during the fight is much bigger. And with singles, every bit of pressure you can put with your rod is on one single point. Your hook holds are a lot better. So that is technique number one, the most favorite one, but not always possible for a multitude of reasons. We're going to go top to bottom. So we had the top now, and now we're going to talk about the middle layer. For the middle layer, we are going to pick a sinking stick bait or a sinking pencil, and that's either the Duo press bait or in this case the Duo rough trail malice. This case the mackerel color, it's one of the favorite together with sardines, one of the favorite preys of the bluefins. It's a very easy to fish bait, it's also very heavy, so even on your PE10, PE12 or even bigger, they're easy to cast. You can fish them like a topwater as a stick bait almost. You can retrieve them, but in particular on the fall they shimmy a lot. So the tuna, you arrive on your big jacuzzi as we say, the tuna are hunting and this little thing shimmers down. And the tuna just slurp them up as they see a dying fish that one of their friends already hit. So this is when they don't take them on the top, but you still want to catch them up high. One of the most effective and easiest to fish lures out there. If that doesn't work, or when they are very deep or harder to catch, we switch to soft plastics. There's two soft plastics in particular. One is the Madness Mad Shed. It's a very well-known sardine imitation for sea bass. Actually, that's how it started. For sea bass, we use the Ulti head. Obviously, the sea bass hook probably will bend out before it even hit the water on your tuna kit. So these are the special Ulti head ton. Ton is French for tuna. They come with a special reinforced hook and inside a true wire system. Same goes for the Coyote. The Coyote in particular is probably the most popular one. It exists in two sizes, in an 80 and new 120 gram for the biggest fish and the heaviest tackle, and when they're really deep. You can fish them in particular with, from Madness, the Mad Eel to imitate a big sand eel, or if you've seen the videos from the likes of Plymouth, it even is a perfect imitation of a garfish. This combination is very effective. The hooks are incredibly strong and can handle the biggest tuna out there. A second option would be the Sayori Shed, also a very popular lure for big sea bass when they're feeding on the sand eels. But with the Madness one, it gives a little bit more vibration, and it's one of my favorite combos for sea bass, and in this combination also for the big bluefins. So there we had our top 3 ones, and the top 3.5, because obviously the Mad Eel and the Mad Shed are not the same lures, but a little bit in the same family. And it's 3 different techniques. Depending on the day, you will have to switch and find what they like. All of these lures are completely true wired. The tackle house ones are not even wired, but there's a completely CNC cut out plate inside, so there's no way the hook will pull out. Something to take a lot of care about, because these fish are not your normal fish. They are incredibly strong. They can go on for hours and hours. There's a lot of horror stories around it. One of our co-workers actually this season, he was fighting a fish for 8 hours and it still cut the line in the end, unfortunately. So you have to be very well prepared. Either pick a charter boat that's very familiar with the fishery and has the material, or if you're going to invest yourself, make sure that all your tackle stands up to the task. We had the lures. Obviously, with just the lures on your sea bass rod, that's not really going to work. We're going to talk about rods as well. For the Atlantic coast and the English Channel, or La Manche as they say over here, we have 2 rods in particular, because like I said in the beginning, the fish are a little bit bigger than on the Mediterranean coast and some parts of Spain. Number 1 was the Tenryu Red Monster in 250 pounds. Unfortunately or fortunately, the fish got even bigger and we needed something stronger. So last year we added the Red Monster in 300 pounds. These are probably one of the strongest rods for your bluefin tuna fishing. They're very all-round, so it's not a hardcore popping rod, it's not a hardcore jigging rod, and all of these lures you can cast and fish with them. When it comes to the reels as well, do yourself a favor, don't skimp on it. It is a very expensive hobby to go tuna fishing, but these fish will destroy everything besides the absolute best when it comes to both the rods and especially the reels and the lines as well. This rod has an offset handle, so it's not an absolute one piece, but the joint is here on the handle. This gives you all the benefits of a one-piece rod when it comes to the fight, with the added benefit of transport. It's easier to put in your car and everything. The guides are double wrapped. It's something that, unless you're familiar with this type of fishing, might be new to you. So normally with bass rods, with perch rods, with freshwater rods, they have the blank of the rod, they put the guides on there, they wrap them and it's finished. With tuna and some other big game species, the amount of pressure on the guides because of the line is so big, it can actually break the rod by pushing into it. So these rods, they have a layer of thread, and on top of that they put the guides and then they finish them off with the final wrapping. Super, super strong. Nothing will move. Some of the biggest bluefins in France and other countries have been landed on these rods. On these rods, for the line, especially on the 250 pound version, we would advise to go with PE10. PE10 is on average 150 pound. We advise or use the full drag, well, the name from X-Braid, the name basically does what it says on the tin, the full drag. It is for your biggest, baddest fish, not only for tuna, but if you go to Oman, the Seychelles, for your GT and any big game lure fishing basically. On the 300 pound, especially with a 20,000 size reel like this one, we would definitely go with PE12 because you expect obviously the biggest fish. Then from on your line, you're gonna tie a shock leader. Again here, every rod and every lure has its own version. In my opinion, I would go with the 250 pound rod with the PE10, 200 pound leader. And if you're gonna go for the biggest and the baddest fish, go for the heavy, it's even the heaviest stuff we have in stock. It's the 230 pound. Still then, it is gonna be a challenge if you get something very big, but fish up to 200 kilos should be no real problem with this. And on the leader, obviously you need something to attach your lure to. In this case, there are not really any snaps on the market that are strong enough to handle a big bluefin tuna. And there's also an issue with the line roller, even on super high-end reels. Under the pressure of a tuna battle, it's almost impossible for the line roller to keep the twist out of the line. And the more your line starts twisting during a prolonged duration of the fight, like I mentioned, one of the co-workers, he lost the tuna after 8 hours. If it keeps on twisting, you might create some weak points, and in a battle with a big tuna, you need every single bit of breaking strain you've got. So it is very important to not only use a very strong split ring to attach your lure to, but also to use a swivel, in this case a very big one. The swivel during the fight under tension can rotate obviously freely, and it mitigates a little bit of that line twist and preventing issues possibly with the line. The ones we're using, the Decoy DR1 in the size 9, it's almost a 460 pound breaking strain. And attached comes a split ring. Like I mentioned, with the way a snap works, it's very hard to make a snap strong enough, so we exclusively attach the lures by split rings. In this case, the R5 from Decoy. This is the 200 pound breaking strain, and that's more than enough for the bigger tuna on spinning gear. It helps prevent line twist when the lures are flying, but in particular when you're fighting a very big bluefin tuna, it helps to keep everything working in order. Basically, that is it. That is the top 3 or top 3.5 lures. Our 2 most popular rods, lines and leaders. You can go with live bait. There is tons of other lures in the catalog and from others as well, but these cover the basics if you want to attack your tuna and if you want to have a go. Hope you found it interesting. If there's any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment. Much more videos will follow. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and very good luck on your next tuna trip.